Well, hello and welcome to Tarot for Our Times. This is Sarah Sachs, your medium on the go. Now, before we get into today's theme about FOTUS and Company, which is Shady, Vance, and our happy hour Secretary of Defense, there are others that could be included and probably will be for future videos, but they were the most recent in the news. But before I begin, I just have a little announcement to make. I'm going to be making some meditation videos. Actually, there's Sitting in the Power, which is a little different from meditation. It's what psychics and mediums use to connect to the higher source and to be able to open the channels of psychic work and mediumship or connecting with people from the other side. So I'm going to get away from the usual. There's a lot of them on YouTube. I'm going to get away from the usual and gear them more towards maybe some astrological aspects like full and new moons, eclipses. And with this one, I'm starting off doing a chakra alignment. And I may be doing others in the future that will concentrate on one particular chakra. So I plan on doing those maybe once a week, maybe more, but I will be making one of those following this. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And so this has been a busy weekend. You would think, well, usually with a holiday weekend, unless there's some natural disaster or terrorism act, it's usually very slow news. So we're going to see what the cards have to say about this is a continuous fall of this regime. I think it started to fall as soon as they opened their mouth. So we're going to deal with Trump, shady Vance, and happy hour hegseth. And to see that, well, as their stars are starting to fade, we have to worry about, are they taking us down with them? And the star in reverse is what the focus card is about. Upright, it is about the balance, the wish upon the star, and manifesting. And I think the one thing you have to say about FOTUS is he's been very good at that, but as with all tyrants, the luck does have to eventually run out. And so we're going to take a look. So this is the loss of star power. It's also a card for the United States. And I'm afraid they are dragging us down with them. We're kind of less in the world view right now. And when this is over, and it will be, it's going to take a very long time to straighten this out. It may, as far as we getting back to where we were before January 20th, may not happen very quickly. So we are no longer the star of and the most powerful of the nation. So I have picked out these people because, well, Trump has been losing. There was some other decision. There was another one or two decisions with the Supreme Court where he lost, and he lost with a couple surprising people. And well, there's so much, it's hard to list it all. But I was looking at some videos, and he's losing with his own party, and it's not only, I think some senators voted against him with the budget, the voting thing, or no, it was again the Garcia issue down in El Salvador. A couple like Lindsey Graham spoke against him. Wow, that's a surprise. And but it goes beyond that, because you've got Joe Rogan of YouTube and podcast fame, he's probably one of the bigger conservative bloggers, and good old Candace Owens, ultra-conservative woman, who are speaking out against him. Apparently, when it comes to due process being denied, that's a bridge too far, and they don't seem to be buying the fairy tales that they just made up to justify it. Now, Vance, everybody hates him. No, he over the week his Easter weekend consisted of first being snubbed by the Pope, who had one of his assistants once again lecture him about compassion, just like what happened at the service at the following the inauguration. And yesterday, with all the big demonstrations, they were out in front of his house just as they were in front of the White House. So he's not Mr. Eyeliner is not very well liked. Plus, the Chinese are trolling him. There's some hilarious videos with him with the eye makeup. And I don't have a problem with people doing that sort of thing, but when they start to preach this heterosexual family values is the only way to be and get all sanctimonious, and yet they've emptied out the Maybelline section of the cosmetics store, then, it's a hypocrisy much. So then we have Hegseth, who was, I guess there was a bombing of innocent people in Yemen again, and he released the plans about that on his family server. So that's a big hoo-ha. I think if the guy put the plug in the jug, I don't know, maybe he wouldn't be doing such stupid things. So that's the latest scandal. So we're going to see, where we are heading in the midst of all of these falling stars. And as I've said before, maybe not being the top dog is not the worst thing in the world. You can kind of look at this like show business, which is a lot of this has been theater of the absurd, is that, when the star gets on, that's the oldest story in theater, when the star gets on, as soon as the star gets on top, they have to worry about being knocked off and being toppled. So that is the not so fun or shadow side of being a star. So not only are they going through that, now they've put us through that, but I somehow think that when you're not top dog, you don't have to do all kinds of things that are awful to stay there. So I'm going to see where the U.S. is headed in the midst of all that. That'll be the longer one. Then I think I'm going to do maybe some shorties on the three people mentioned. So, at any rate, we put the star back in the deck. So I'm going to be shuffling these up. So let's see where the U.S. is. Where we are as a whole, where this is headed. I'm sure these lovely characters are going to be coming into this reading. So we use the old Royale deck. I'll put that down here because I'm limited with space. And our good old friend, the Waite Rider deck, is the minor cards in this. So I have been shuffling, but I feel as though I need to shuffle a little bit more. I don't want to be accused of stacking the deck. That's why when I'm done with this, I just upload it. I don't edit it because of that very reason. Okay, so we're all shuffled up here now. Oh, gotta put this down. Whoa. I didn't make more room, so this is a big reach now. Okay, so. Whoa. So the indicating card is about right now, kind of where we are in the midst of all of this insanity, is we have, oh boy. This guy's been coming up. We have the devil. We have the hot, sexy, seductive devil, which I guess they talk about in the Bible. But this is where we're at. This is the energy. I think what this is saying is that people, what the devil does, what the devil energy does, is he's kind of seductive, and he draws people in. I guess which kind of Trump has been doing, if that's your taste. So he kind of sucks people in. There's still enough, believe it or not, if you look at the comments of those of you in Pittsburgh area, if you look at the comments section of our local ABC affiliate, WTAE, and their comments are like, I don't know, if there's like half of them are Russian trolls and the other half absolute pencil tucky, because they haven't been affected yet. Okay, so we do have that, which is telling me that this is the guy that leads you down the really, really bad path. Very bad path. So the energy of this will be, the Five of Cups in reverse, which upright they call this the minor arcana of the death card, with the mourning and the crying over the spilled milk. But you know, they end up sadder but wiser, so they can go across that bridge way in the background and move on. In this respect, with it being with the devil, it's like they don't learn the lesson. They're just wrapped up in all of that, and they just stay there. They don't move on. They just don't move on. I guess it hasn't been bad enough for many right now. So it's been bad for a lot of them. You can find videos galore about the FA and the FO. A lot of them found out, like the white women found out, oh, they're DEI. Oh, they forgot or didn't know they were marginalized. But some of them, and a lot of them, were like they're getting laid off, and they thought it was going to be the black or the brown person. But oh, voila, it's them. But it hasn't happened to all of them yet. But so there's still those that are chained to the devil. This one, he doesn't have chains. He just has a bod and charm, and I think that's probably more accurate than scary devil of this deck. So then we have here. Okay. The underlying all of this in the past is the Two of Pentacles, where they bought the line of this. I'm going to call this the balancing the budget for the eggs and the milk and that nonsense. Okay. Then we have, the money. The money, the influx of the money that has kept that stupid message alive, because it's had a lot of money poured into it. There may be some looking at that to maybe make sure we don't ever live through this nightmare again. We may need a new Congress, and this means it may be a renewal of contributions, and that the Citizens United just may be voted out. That's been the big problem. And then then we have, there she is. So we have Mother Russia continuing to be the influence, and this goes to Marquito or Rubio, saying, we're gonna not have any more negotiations with Ukraine. They can just go burn whatever. But I think I saw that he was on a plane to Paris for more talks. So they're all speaking out of their hats. But Mama Russia continues to be an influence. That was one of the big fears I had with this election. Okay, so we've got that. Tell me when the devil doesn't. I mean, look at any of these readers. That has been coming up since the campaign, actually. Okay, so then in the opposition, we have the King of Cups, which represents the good, compassionate leadership. It's opposing this. This is, I'm going to say that as time goes on, we're going to find out more things that Biden put into place to maybe have a few of the guardrails up, or so that could be preventing more harm than is being done. I mean, maybe if it hadn't been for him, some people think we're in shambles. We're not quite there yet, but I'm going to say that that's a good opposition card. I have to say that. So let's see where we are as far as our star falling in the conscious thoughts. We have, finally, we have all that stuff we've done in the past and the illusion of making America great again in the picture of the 1950s and 60s sitcom, which are not the real world. We have the good old Six of Cups in reverse. So I think a lot of people are consciously have woken up to the fact that, well, we can't live in the past, and we are not what we were in the past before January 20th in the rest of the world. So we have this is the reality on the surface that we're dealing with. But subconsciously, we are, the Six of Pentacles upright, and that is the giving and the taking. And also, I would say there's an underlying anxiety that we are no longer a country that's compassionate and compares, to the rest of the world. And this is coming out with deaths because of the aid package being with the Doge boys being trashed, and now innocent people are dying. And if you want to go to these impoverished countries in Africa, there's a practical reason for this, for helping them and, giving them the medicines and all of that sort of thing, for HIV women and, not passing it on to their children. All this sort of thing is that we're going to need those countries, to cooperate in defense and give, and in return, give us some security and military coverage. Well, that's out the window now. So I would say that underneath, people are feeling this is who we really are, and what they did to topple that is not who we are. So subconsciously there could be some anxiety about this and not feeling so secure, but knowing deep down inside this is going against one of the better aspects. We're far from perfect, but that's one of our better qualities, is that. And but that with some foreign boys came in and destroyed that. Okay, so going to the past and all of this, we have the Magician in reverse. And this are these clowns that I have mentioned coming in and using their powers incorrectly, not for the highest and the best like he does when he's upright. And this is what Trump has been about. It's been manifesting just to keep himself out of jail and to rob people and and to be a con. This is the con artist. And I remember one of my very early tarot teachers, Rebecca, said, the magician in reverse is that very charming rock star who just, finds you in the audience and you go out and have a great time. But when you wake up in the morning, he's gone. He's gone. He just did all he could to charm and seduce you. But after it was fun, bam, he's gone. Okay. And this is what has been happening in the past to set this up. This was before he took power. Okay, so in the present, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. And this is the whiny, manipulative. She's not the baby. She's not the Page of Cups in reverse, the titty baby card, but she's the very needy, high maintenance, manipulative, passive aggressive type. And she is often has a substance abuse problems, which turns her into the con artist, putting all of those things on steroids. This is the energy that we have. Now, I know our Presidente is supposedly a teetotaler, but for entertainment purposes only, I'm going to go with the Carrie Fisher analysis from 2016 and saying, boy, I know that kind of high when I see it, and he is. So I would say there's the Adderall and all this other stuff. So they're all kind of crazy. I mean, we have, and the muskrat. I did say the muskrat is he's kind of seems out of the picture. I guess he didn't do anything awful. So we're going to do a separate reading on him, but he's I think he's fallen out of favor. So they're all being sniveling, self-pitying, women. This is sort of like the very unflattering female energy on an emotional level. So this is the energy, this is what we're dealing with right now. And she gets to be very self-pitying and plays the victim, but that's part of her passive-aggressive stuff. Okay, so let's see what's coming up. With all of this, let's see what's coming up in the near future with this. And okay. 8 of Swords in reverse. Okay. This is the perfect card. If this were upright, well, this is the perfect card. This is all about self-pitying and becoming a prisoner of our own thoughts, and the blindfold that's on, which could come off easily, but she chooses to keep it on to stay in this. This is in reverse. So this is us saying we have to deal with this. But these are people waking up, but we can't be like them. We cannot get into that victim mode. And I think that's what the demonstrations were about over the weekend. And believe me, they're not going anywhere. I have a whole theory about that may be for another reading. So this is the public. Thank God, the majority of the public that's saying, we're getting off the pity pot, and now it's time, like that blindfold is coming off. We're going to do it because staying a prisoner in this stuff is not not going to do any good. So this is where kind of we're at. This is what's happening, and will continue to get stronger, where we're saying we can no longer be victims. That's not productive. So this is very positive. So we may be falling from grace with the rest of the world, but we're raising our voices and saying, it's like the drunken uncle at Thanksgiving. You bring the boyfriend home or whatever and say, well, that's him. That's not, and unfortunately, I'm related to him, but that's not me. That's really what you compare this to. Then we have, in a more long-range future, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So what this is all doing in reverse is that this is the economy and the world economy being really messed up. So oftentimes, unfortunately, this is what it takes to really wake people up, because they use the excuse of the economy to vote for him this time. So this is kind of the wake-up call, but this is also showing as the dollar. Here we have our dollars here in reverse. As the dollar gets weakened, we're no longer the big kings of the universe. So in the hopes and the fears of all of this, we have, okay, temperance in reverse. I think the hope is that they're all off balance, and this is the with the little AA symbol in the middle. I don't think they knew that when they designed the deck, but that's still the AA triangle in reverse, which is talking about I guess the hope is that that they're all such a mess and very inefficient to really be able to carry through all of this, because they are meeting the resistance. It seems like they're getting away with it, but the fear, we still have the fear that all of these drunks and junkies are going to be ruling the universe. But I would say not to fear that. I mean, you can't run an autocracy efficiently when everybody is in altered, chemically induced states of consciousness. But this is very, very true. So, in conclusion of this, for now, because we all read for what's going on now and the energy, I used to say, I do my next reading in a day or so, the energy will shift, or next week. No, the energy could shift in 5 minutes. That's where we are. So, in conclusion, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So, this is pretty much letting go of that notion that we're the richest, we're the most powerful, we're the king of the hill, and that's coming to the conclusion of that no longer exists. But that may not be such a bad thing, because a lot of it was an illusion. We are not the greatest. I mean, we never really were. So it's letting go of that illusion. If he were upright, it would be holding on. So this is and this may be getting into maybe doing a little bit more spiritual self-examination of ourselves, because when that happens, we have to reflect. I mean, these people could all go. I mean, they could all be in an airplane tomorrow, all of them, and boom, no air traffic controllers, boom. I mean, I'm not saying wishing that would happen, but I'm just saying, let's assume they're all unalived or disappeared or whatever due to circumstances. We're still going to have this mess to clean up. I mean, there's just no getting around that. We're going to have the big mess to clean up. So I would say that this is, we were maybe very powerful, maybe the most powerful, but maybe that's not all that it's cracked up to be either. So but I think it's that being that and the greatest, those are two different things, and we never actually were the greatest. I mean, we had segregation, which is we had our own form of apartheid. South Africa has had its, but it was done a little bit differently, but it all amounts to the same thing as bigotry. And this is the direction. They want to bring back segregation. I mean, it's a mess. So, and I think it's the realization that a lot of this has been a big fairy tale, and we have to get over that. But being that we were really top dog as far as power goes, but so we don't have that anymore, and so maybe maybe out of this we have to reinvent ourselves. Maybe it's all this woo 5D, whatever the hell that is, that they're talking about, to raise to the higher consciousness, that being the powerful macho country in the world isn't that spiritually in tune to going up to that level of consciousness. So I'm going to take this deck, which is a variation on the Rider deck, and we're going to do some quickie looks at at our three musketeers du jour of the weekend and do some very quick few card readings on this. So I guess we have to start with our top dog here. Okay, so we'll do this, and then we've got this other, I call this the takeoff on the rider deck. A variation on it. It's the after tarot. I think a lot of these things in this new deck that I have, it's about what this sort of like the aftermath kind of thing of, well, you'll see. But I always think that probably makes more sense. Alrighty, so we got toddler in chief coming right up. Okay, so we've got the indicator of the, alrighty, the overriding energy is the lovers, and then we have the clarifier is the Hierophant. Then you've got a little bit of the past. Oh, this is weird. And the future. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So we have the lovers. Interesting, because this is sort of like the triangle of the three with the lovers here. So I would say presently, see, I think a lot of what's happening is he's in a lot of denial. They're talking about martial law, but he may be getting it spun to him and in his own head that they, just like he's been talking about the Supreme Court ruled unanimously in his favor when in fact it didn't. So maybe, I mean, this sounds far-fetched. Maybe he thinks it's a big love fest in favor of him. He could be that delusional. Then we have the Hierophant, which is the energy, but right now he's got a hold of the government, and then we have the two. This is interesting because then we have the other two that will be mentioned. Big driving force that's always been with him, and that was also with his father. I mean, rich men are always in fear of losing it all or never having enough. Never having enough. So what happens is that it just drives them to get more and more and more. And trust me, he's got this fear of these two people that this could happen to him, when in fact what he has to do is have us be this, okay? But I think the result of this is, for entertainment purposes only, he's going to end up as the guy. I don't think he's sleeping. God knows what he's doing to stay up, but he's not really sleeping. And in this card, this really, usually it's kind of like a night or something like that. This card, it looks like a kind of like a mummified corpse there. So what this is saying is that, and this, there are no eyes, there's no face, there's no eyes or anything to look up at the stained glass, because usually in the other deck, you know, they're looking at the stained glass window, which is a spirituality, and hanging up the thoughts. Let's not think, let's just kind of be in this, you know, glow of the stained glass. But with him, it's like, it's just like it's kind of like dead. I mean, a really dead. And I'm not saying he's going to die, but I would say that he may be riding for a health incident, and usually what happens is that gives people different perspectives, but he's not one of them. But I feel like I need to throw a clarifier or two with the lovers. Now that this could be his delusion. This was probably his delusion. So let's see. We've got the Queen of Swords. Okay. This is in this deck, this is a strong female figure that he really hates, especially if their skin is darker than his. Okay. So he's being threatened by strong women, which means he's got to have the love. He's got to have and the thing is, he's been insulting the MAGA redneckies, and who he needs them, but he still expects them to love him. Then we have okay, so here we are. I've stolen, and I've got all the goodies now, but look at here. They're walking away. It's sort of like the lonely guy on top. So I would say the lovers with the people that he thinks love him. That's part of his delusion, but he's got these people here to tell him differently. That's why he had the yes people, and he's got in the Hierophant, he's got these two people there to adore him. So that's what's making that's where he's at right now, which is not the healthiest thing. So now we're going to look at who's up next. Happy Hour Hegseth. Okay, Happy Hour Hegseth. He isn't even trying. I mean, and it's all these photo ops when he's in Europe. He's got a bottle in the thumbnail. He's got a bottle of champagne. He's chug-a-lugging from that while he was actually, I don't know if he was speaking, but he was drinking right from the bottle. So, let's see. He's the next of the... Okay. Vance. No, we'll do him, since I mentioned him with the cards in hand. Okay, we'll do him. Then we'll do Shady Eyeliner. Okay, it's Mr. Smoky Eye. Alrighty. Boy, the Chinese have been merciless with him. So we're going to do Happy Hour Hegseth before he passes out for the night. Okay, so I think I've got these shuffled up. Okay, so we got this one. Oh my goodness, the lovers. That's weird. I really did. You heard him. I was really shuffling these. Okay. We've got the lovers. Maybe it looks like maybe they're in the same space. Okay. If I get the same one, I'm going to. Okay. Oh, here we go. Three of Wands in reverse. Boy, oh boy, if this doesn't say a lot. And then the past, we have Four of Wands upright. Then coming up is the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay, so I think with him, this is kind of like the how they see themselves card. I think he fancies himself as the last of the red hot lovers. Okay. Very interesting. He is, I think he's kind of like in love with himself. It may be narcissistic, but let's see, because this is curious. It would come up for these two. Okay, so we have here the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, this is him and the guy at the top. He would have never, there's no other person, no matter how right-wing, would ever put him in this position. So, okay. So this is the loyal Knight of Pentacles, and he is, he's loyal to his Lord and Master. So he's going to be, for now, with people, with drunks, that you never know, this could turn on a dime. But for the right now, he's loyal because he has the job and probably been told they're there. So what if you did that invasion on your family server? He was probably too drunk to know what server he was using. Okay, then we have here, oh, feeling the love. It's like this is a needy alky. He needs the love of his Master, we've got the heart and all of this sort of thing. That this is, and this angel, this is kind of like he's protected. That's the thing. He is protected. So as long as he stays loyal to Big Toddler, he's okay. Okay, the Three of Wands in reverse is every disaster he's had when he's off of American soil. His trips to Europe, oh my God, what a disaster. I'm sure that all the dignitaries say, oh my God, here comes that drunk. Oh my God, I wonder if he's going to slur his words through his speech. His incoherent. So this is his disastrous trips overseas. In the past here we have, or his underlying thing is that it kind of goes along with this guy here. We've got the four of Wands, and this is like as long as he stays under the tent of MAGA and remains loyal, he's got the keys to the castle. But he's got to stay wed, and I think, people that have drinking problems, shall we say, if they screw up, it's kind of like the booze that does it, but they'll stay under the tent because it's safe there. Okay, he's going to carry all of this weight that he's unqualified to carry until he collapses. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to have to drop all of these because he's not in any position with there could be something that ends. He doesn't realize he's in denial about his drinking, so he's in denial about everything else in his life. So when he gets thrown under the bus, it's not if but when. It could be next week, it could be next year, who knows. He will never know what hit him. So I want to do it. Let's see, I'll do a clarifying or two just to get through. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This guy's riding for a tower. You cannot be conducting your business in the way that he is and not have a disaster. I would say is this latest thing with this invasion that was really ill-advised, and that's a whole, there's that one piece at the foundation is, that's the one piece breaking off. The thing at the foundation is, well, what did they think was going to happen? He's going to crack under this burden, I'm telling you, and it's going to be a disaster. This may not be the straw that broke the camel's back, but it's going to get worse. It doesn't get better. You put a drunk in a job like that, if you think it's like being neurotic, doing the same thing again and expecting a different result, it's not going to get any better. So we have, but he's going to keep moving along. He will keep moving along until this happens. He's just moving along, but this is saying that this whole thing is going to collapse. It's in reverse. It's going to collapse. He is no Colin Powell. I mean, he's not. God, that's a Republican administration too. I mean, Colin Powell was a general for God how many centuries? He isn't. Actually, and I remember Colin Powell ended up endorsing Obama, remember in 2008, I remember. And he was a Republican until the day he passed. So, this guy is not him. So, we have Hegseth, Vance, okay, Maybelline. Coming right up. Okay. Oh, yeah, we don't want to leave Shady out of this. We are not going to leave Shady out of this at all. The world hates him. I would say, if God forbid he became president which I don't see that happening. He's not going to have any allies in Congress, and the right wing thinks they're going to use him. He's a big shapeshifter. If he doesn't have, if he's not in the shadow of Trump anymore, and they decide they're going to go moderate to save their asses, he'll be right there with him and say, "Oh, I was only fooling, ha ha ha." Okay, so I'm going to make sure these are really, 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 really shuffled. Shuffle, you guys, shuffle. Okay, I'll even cut them again. Okay. So here we go with shady eyeliner. Okay. Oh, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Doomed from the beginning. Okay, then we have, wow, cannot make this stuff up. Okay, then we have here. Oh. Well, this one's okay. And the King of Cups. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So we have here the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is all of these are saying doomed from the beginning. Okay, so this is the true, usually this is, when this is upright, this is he's self-reflecting about, ooh, maybe I didn't plant the best harvest. Oh, what did I do? This is in reverse in this case. These are people at the RNC saying, what did we do? What did we do? You know, they love Mike Pence until January 6th, 2021. But this is the buyer's remorse big time. Then we have the energy of he's not up for the challenge, not with that Seven of Wands in reverse. At least when it's upright, they're up against a lot, but they're holding their own. No, not in this case. He is not up for this. This is like this guy could never be president. He wouldn't get any cooperation, not even. Doomed from the beginning. This is kind of like they were stabbing him in the back even beforehand. I don't get the thinking, and maybe they just thought he's pliable, political shapeshifter. We can stick the knives in the back, and he'll go, more, please, I want more. So this is like the doomed from the beginning. Doomed, and I also think it's like they have him nailed to the floor, and he's just going to do whatever they tell him to do to stay in their favor, but they're ready to discard him like Trump would discard last night's porn star. Okay. This was like, whoa, never meant to be. So then we have, in conclusion, this is the grown-up version of the titty baby. This is the weak king. He's in a position, unlike the page, he does have some power being the king. But he's not the strong king. He's the emotionally manipulated king. And I don't know what his drinking habits are, but here we have a cup in reverse. So that if, a lot of times, if not substance abuse, there's mental health issues with this. And I would say that probably fits him. Probably mental health. No need to clarify any of this. This is like, what were we thinking? Oh, well, we'll just have him nailed to the ground. He'll do whatever we want. But then he may not in the end, because other people, with the winds shift, and people if the Republicans are smart, they'll move away from the MAGA movement as they see the big toddler losing power. They'll drop him. So really bad choice. That there is the downsides to being the big yes man. Okay, so Wowie. So that is that. So they're going down, and they're let's face it, as far as the world stage and the economy, they're taking us down with them. Now, I don't think we're going to be irreparably damaged, but we will be where there's going to be a lot of fence mending. We're going to have to build a new fence altogether. But it can be done, but we will be set back. But maybe, as I say, that's a time to reflect to see who we really are. What is our identity? So, on that note, I'm going to say bye bye.